BBC Radio 1's residency.
Now, over on BBC Radio 1 Extra.
Radio 1 Extra.
Mr. Jam.
Turn up your speakers.
Now,
on BBC Radio 1.
This is...
Hey there, I am Dan Howell, and you are listening to the Internet Takeover special on BBC Radio 1. The internet. What do I think of it?
I think the internet is the greatest invention in the history of mankind.
Who doesn't love the internet? I use it for everything.
I'm actually addicted to the internet.
I have a sort of love-hate relationship with it. I hate that I love it so much. I hate that I love it so much.
I definitely see it as like my best friend and my worst enemy.
I love the internet until everybody else is on it.
I think the internet is a great, exciting and absolutely terrifying place full of just weird people.
I think in some ways it can make people a lot more confident because writing a comment is a lot easier than talking to someone in real life.
Online, I am loads of fun. In real life, I'm quite shy.
When you're behind a screen, you're just not afraid to just be just whatever you feel like being at the time.
I say all sorts of stuff when I'm on the internet.
You can be anonymous and you can hide behind a keyboard and you're quite disconnected from the effect you're having on people.
They don't think that any of it's real. It's all just pixels. No actual people with emotions.
In real life, might get physically hurt.
I get a lot of comments from people telling me that I'm fat, like I won't have noticed already, like, oh, whoa, oh, thanks.
Someone said that they wish that my entire family would get eaten by a scorpion.
Get your tooth fixed.
Oh, you're so good. You're stupid. You're ugly. This video is terrible. Why don't you delete your account?
Dean, yeah.
Somebody really couldn't stand Dean's hair. Like, I mean, I'm with them, to be honest.
I do think it's important to talk about sort of the negativity that's spread online.
It needs to be talked about. You can't sweep this under the carpet.
Too many of us just accept it when there is so much that we could all do about it.
We should show that we're not afraid to kind of address these sort of issues.
I genuinely feel that with us all working together, we can make a massive difference to negativity online.
We can kind of understand better why people do that to each other.
If you have the tools to deal with the negativity, it's not going to affect you as much.
The troll can be killed.
I think I would have benefited a lot from it back when I was starting out on the internet.
Yeah, I just punched myself in the face.
Nothing is going to change without your help.
I don't want to over-exaggerate, but I think it's safe to say that this show is going to absolutely blow your mind and completely change your perceptions on absolutely everything.
Hopefully it will change the world.
It's going to be great. Don't know, I just said that in a Geordie accent.
So, yeah.
Let's do it.
See you there.
Bye.
Okay, everyone, welcome to the Radio 1 Internet Takeover special. Hi. That was the audience to everybody listening on the radio. So, what is this show? We all go on the internet. I think it's safe to say that most of us spend a lot of our lives on the internet. Without the internet, we would have nothing. I think we can,
No job, definitely.
No, yeah, nothing without the internet. And the internet can be a good place, no human interaction. I think that's definitely helped a lot of us because it can allow people that are quite shy to be confident. You can be, whoever you want to be. It's quite easy to express yourself, but obviously, when there isn't that much human interaction, it makes it very easy to be negative. And that's what we're talking about today, all the negativity that happens online. What we want to do is to talk about why people can be hateful on the internet so we can kind of understand why they're doing it and maybe feel less bad about it ourselves. To talk about what we can do to not make it so easy for ourselves to be victims, how we can stop people from interacting with us negatively, and what we can all do to make the internet a nicer place for us all to spend all of our lives in. So, let's introduce today's special vlogger guest, starting with you over there.
Hello, my name is Charlie McDonnell. And is that enough?
Yeah.
Will that do? That's my name. Thank
Charlie
you.
is so cool, like I was going to say YouTube dinosaur. That sounds a bit rude.
Yeah, that's horrible. Don't say that.
Would you accept that?
No.
No. Okay. How would you like to
An
refer to
example
yourself?
of bullying, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't think
off.
things through before I spoke, and I just made Charlie sad. We'll get to that.
Hi, I'm Tom, also known as Tom Scott on the internet, and I make sketch comedy videos, not vlog very often. Why am I here? Can I go home?
No.
Hi, I'm Louise. My channel is Sprinkle Glitter, and I make nice videos about beauty or fashion or being positive and just nice things.
Good.
Hi, I'm Phil. You may know me from Dan and Phil on Radio 1 and also Amazing Phil on YouTube, and also Dan and Phil Games, if you'd like to subscribe.
Cheeky plug.
Get that promo in.
Yeah,
And I'm Patricia from the channel Patricia Bright, and I do fashion, beauty and lifestyle as well. My name is Jim Chapman, and I spend most of my time just talking about stuff. I wish my intro was as good as these guys. I haven't got much else to say about myself, though.
Now take over then. Hello, I'm Jack Howard. I'm a part of a comedy duo called Jack and Dean. For those on the radio, I did use inverted commas, but that just means nothing to you.
That was the sound of air quotes.
Yeah, that's who I am.
Dean didn't have a working
my mic not working and me off the stage, story of my life. So I'm Dean. I'm the other half of that channel that he's on. Thank you.
Dean, everybody! Yay! So... It was awkward, but that's us, isn't it? We're all just awkward people on the internet, and here we are in real life. So I thought to ease the tension a bit, we could do some icebreakers with some facts. Who likes facts?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to get some of these guys to read some out, and then you guys can give us a general yeah or no if you agree or disagree. So, Patricia.
Okay, so nearly 40% of young people say they have online friends they've never met.
Is that a yes or a no?
Yeah.
40% of people, online friends they've never met. I think all of us. I think that most of the people we add on Facebook and Twitter and stuff are people that we've never met in real life.
Well, I don't think I'd know most of you without the internet.
Without the internet?
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so that's an obvious one. Okay, Charlie, what's your fact?
The majority of young people think the internet is a positive place.
Ooh.
Wrong. Yes. Some people are like, yeah, and some are like, no, that's just not true at all.
Split the room.
We've got the minority here today.
And Louise?
63% of young teens say they are closer to their friends because of the internet.
Are you closer to your friends because of the internet? I saw one person in the audience. I was like, nope. I think it's, you can speak to people when you're not with each other in real life. I mean, that's what the internet's for. That's pretty good. Okay, good icebreakers. Do we all feel dramatically less awkward than we did 2 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Louise doesn't, does she?
So here is our opening question for you guys. Negativity. Not just kind of expressing a negative opinion, but actually saying something mean to people. Why do you think people do it? Anybody got any opinions, ideas for it? Jack?
I think that with the internet, people are more likely to be confident enough to say something mean or express something in a bad way because they're not seeing the reaction. Like on the internet, it's just you're behind the keyboard, you can see a screen, and you're just thinking that that's all you're doing, when really they're forgetting that there's somebody on the other side of that is just as complex as you. It's a person with thoughts and feelings and emotions, and I think that's what people forget a lot of the time.
Yep, totally. I mean, you don't see the other person, so it doesn't feel like it's really happening. Does anyone think, why would someone feel compelled to say something negative in the first place, Phil?
If someone's having a bad day, they might feel better about themselves, say something horrible about Miley Cyrus or something like that.
Yeah, no, totally.
It's like a venting, but they're also being mean to someone, which they don't need to do.
That is exactly what it is. I don't know if you guys have heard of this. It's a great word. It's called projection. The idea is that if people are feeling sad, if they're feeling angry, if they're feeling insecure about themselves, and they see someone that is being something that they feel not confident enough to be themselves, they will take out those feelings on another person to bring them down, because actually it's about them feeling bad themselves. So the first thing that we should all admit, and this applies to all bullying, not just cyberbullying and mean things on the internet, is that most of the time when someone goes out of their way to say something horrible to you, it's not you, it's about them. So if you look at it and think, is this person saying that because of me, or is it just really this person feeling bad about themselves, it immediately makes it a lot less impactful. Because if you go, this isn't about me, this is just about that person, it can help to lessen the impact. Problem is with the internet, you're not going to get anyone to admit that, are they? You're not going to say, hey, random troll without a face, are you going to admit that this is about your sad feelings? No, they're just going to reply with something even meaner. So let's talk about these hater comments, okay? People you've never met in your entire life will just come up to you in a YouTube comment on Twitter and they'll just say something mean to you for no reason. So let's ask the audience, because for us, we post videos on the internet. Where do we get mean comments? Under our videos. What about the audience? Do you want to jump in, Jack?
I will jump. I need to change mics.
Where do people find, which social networks and places do people get the most haters on? Does anyone think there's websites where it's most frequent?
Hello, what's your name?
Daisy.
Hello, Daisy. Please tell us about these negative comments you receive, if you feel comfortable to do that.
I get a lot of anonymous hate on Tumblr, but I also get a lot of positive messages from my followers, but sometimes I feel that like the negativity can outweigh the comments that you get saying, "Oh, you're pretty," or "I look up to you." So
totally, yeah. I mean, negativity always stands out, doesn't it? I mean, I'm sure us guys know that with our videos. I mean, we could get a whole bunch of comments from people that are saying, "Hey, I really like this video. I really like you," and then one person would say, "You have a stupid face," and it's like,
that's it, game over.
Crying for 10 hours. So you're absolutely right.
I think as a creative, a lot of us have this problem where we actually respect the people saying the mean things more because we believe them. Because you watch your own videos, you're like, oh, this is rubbish, why do people like it? And then someone goes, this is bad, and you go, oh, you're right, which is also a form of projection, I believe.
So, Tom, do you think that you latch on to the negative ones more because it's like touching on things that you might feel insecure about?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That was just a yes, that's why. And you think,
absolutely,
that's right? Yes, Jack?
I think on that point, that like, it's about that if you have, like, let's say 50% of comments is bad and 50% are good, if you choose to believe the bad ones, then you choose to believe the good ones as well. I think it's about the balance of what you choose to believe as well, like,
totally,
depending on what you get.
Okay, so it seems like Facebook is one other thing where it's kind of private and contained, but anywhere that you're opening yourself up to the internet in like a public thing, so like Twitter or YouTube, this is when anyone you've never met before can just roll along and say something mean to you. So what can we do about it? How do we respond? We have a video from someone who couldn't make it because he's in Australia. Troy Sivan, does anyone know who that is? We asked him what he does when he gets a mean comment, and this is his advice for it.
Hello, my name is Troy Sivan, and I am a singer and actor and YouTuber from Australia. And my top 3 tips of cyberbullying are: number 1, ignore, ignore, ignore. Number 2, block, block, block. And number 3, if it's really, really bad, you should definitely just talk to someone about it. There is guaranteed someone out there, whether it's like a teacher or a parent or a friend, who can help you out and help you deal with the situation. So, yeah.
So, yeah, I think that Troy basically summarized the entire show in about 20 seconds then. So we'll slowly break all of that down. The first thing he said was ignore, ignore, ignore. Now, Patricia, you have said that you never reply. Why is that?
I rarely reply, is what I should say.
Really? Yeah.
Just because it draws more attention to it, and I find that negative comments, more people respond to it, and it kind of fuels the fire. And I've also found that negative people want the attention. So why would I give it to them? They're just going to keep going and keep going. So
try to ignore it. You said that most of the time, I can imagine, I'm sure as we all know, when we get random hateful comments on the internet, it is really hard to completely ignore it. Why do you think it's so hard to try to ignore them all the time?
Sometimes your like ghetto side wants to come out and just tell people, just no, like sit down. And I can sometimes be a bit sarcastic and you know, get my followers to get behind me and all that kind of stuff.
What about you, Jim? You seem like a pretty peaceful guy. You'd seem to... I don't think I've ever seen you get in on someone that said something hateful. Why are you so peaceful?
In a piece. No, I don't know. I think for me it's... Luckily I don't get a great deal of hate anyway.
Yeah.
When I do, I really struggle not to reply. I want to, because... particularly the spelling mistakes. Like if they say you're an idiot with an apostrophe, I'm like, no.
You want to jump right in there with the asterisk RE.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, like Patricia said, it kind of fuels the fire, and the next thing you know, it's top comment, and then there's people either defending you or supporting them, and the whole thing escalates, and it's kind of... It makes your video a negative place. And my videos, for the most part, are about positivity, and I want to make people smile and laugh. That's my job. I don't want then negative stuff under it.
Totally.
So I just think, ignore it.
What was that thing you said about pigs? Was it pigs?
Oh, yeah. So this is a quote.
Jim said an amazing quote earlier.
Yeah, this is a quote someone told me once, and I have to get it right. Something to do with, right, don't play in the mud with pigs because you'll both get dirty, but the pig will like it. So basically, if you...
Can we have an ooh moment for that? Ooh, profound quote.
Deep.
Yes.
So, you know, if you tangle with the trolls, then they're going to love the fact that they're getting attention, and they're going to like the fact that you've bitten. If you just ignore it, then they'll move on. You know, they'll go somewhere else. They may keep writing it, you know, every so often, but just keep ignoring it, and eventually they'll realise that they're not having any impact on you.
I think that is the big point there, in that it is so hard to ignore things, because whether it's grammar or just your itch to give a sassy response, it is so hard to ignore. But in many situations, it is the best thing to do, because all bullying, even in real life, is they want a reaction from the person you're giving it to. And on the internet, I mean, it's the saying, isn't it? Don't feed the trolls. The one thing they want is a reaction. So if you don't react, if you ignore it completely, then you've just got like supreme victory. Because I mean, I think we all love giving like a sassy response, or just thinking about how we could reply.
You're looking at me, Dan.
Jack, you can't know the sassy responses, but But for me, I think there's a lot more, because I'm thinking about, I want to get this person back. There's nothing more satisfying than ignoring them completely, because the satisfaction that you'd get from posting a good sarcastic response is like, if you ignore them completely, then that person will just never even know that you acknowledged them.
Do you know what I do? I will often write out a reply, but then delete it before I send it. So I'm like, that's really funny.
So
That would
you
have been
can
a good
vent
one.
all of you, because it's hard to just suppress things all the time, isn't it? So you can let everything out, but then not actually give them attention. We have a guy here called Alex Holmes, who is an anti-bullying ambassador for a charity. He's very well known. He's done a lot of good work. Definitely a round of applause. You're a very wise guy who knows a lot of good advice. What is your advice for someone who is finding it hard to ignore someone or just wants to know what they can do about mean comments that they're getting?
Yeah, so I have the best job in the world, training young people to be anti-bullying ambassadors that stand up to hate online and offline. And I think our biggest advice is to block. It's the most powerful tool we all have in the palm of our hand. Don't let 140 characters ruin your day, clearly from people that don't know you very well. You don't need them in your life, so block, get rid of them, and move on. It's a hard message, but it's one that I think you guys are really spreading well, and that we all need to remember that actually sometimes we do come across people in life that are having a bad day, but don't let them get you down. Focus on the positive and use that block tool.
Yep, absolutely. We shouldn't tolerate. Yeah, round of applause. Good advice. So a little show of hands. Who here in the audience has ever blocked someone? Is there anyone in this room that hasn't blocked someone? Wow. So I think most of us on something have stumbled across someone like, we don't want to hear from that person anymore. Yeah, I think that, it's obvious. We shouldn't have to tolerate someone speaking to us in that way. We can block them and cut them out of our lives. Does anyone disagree with blocking here? Tom, what's your opinion on blocking?
Well, Dan, how did you know I didn't agree? Sometimes I don't really like blocking or deleting anyone, because I find sometimes it can send out a message to that person that it's working. Ignoring, sure, like if you ignore them, then they know they're getting ignored and that'll upset them, but there's really nothing for them to bounce back off. But if you block them, suddenly they know. So suddenly if there's a user on Twitter, die Tom Scar die. If I block that account, then they know that I've seen it, and then within an hour they pop up with die Tom Scar die too, and that kind of sometimes ends up happening.
That is a really good point, and what this touches on is how different websites provide different ways to do it. So on some websites, like Twitter, as I'm sure you all know, there is a mute option, and what this is, the most amazing thing ever, it combines the ability to block someone with the ability to ignore them, because with blocking someone, they will never find out that you successfully had them interact with you, but then you'll never see what they say. So like Tom said, sometimes when you can, if you can mute someone instead of blocking them, then that person will never know.
I think that also works as well, not with just a troll or someone who's just like randomly kind of like, so we have an audience of people who will have the haters or whatever, but also if you, for example, have a school friend or a work colleague that you have to follow, or like it seems like you should be following them, you can combine the follow with the mute, and that's just helpful.
How many people here just mute people that they follow on Twitter? Yep.
There's a fantastic thing on personal Facebook, as opposed to like a Facebook page, where if somebody is bothering you with their status updates, you can just sort of not unfriend them and then cause a kerfuffle because you've unfriended them, but just make it so their stuff doesn't pop up. So if they put particularly offensive stuff or things you don't agree with, or they just constantly talk about their boyfriend, you can just don't see that. It's lovely. Yeah. Top tip from Louise there. Yeah. Okay, so it seems like there are so many ways that you can reply to a situation. There isn't necessarily a right or a wrong way to do it. We definitely want everyone to just know all of the options out there so we can decide for ourselves how we want to react to the situation. So Phil, you've got like a little goldfish ball in front of you.
It's a hamster ball.
It's a hamster ball. And what is inside that ball?
A very flat hamster. No, it's lots of pieces of paper.
Radio listeners, there is no compressed hamster in the ball. It was a joke.
There's lots of pieces of paper with different responses that you could have to a hater comment.
Okay, so can you give us one from the ball?
Yes. Okay. Ignore it.
Yep, I think we've all discussed why that one's a pretty amazing one.
I actually prefer that to replying because...
Do you, Phil?
Yeah, because I don't want to start a big hate fest of people replying to the reply, so it's better just to ignore it. Sarcastic reply.
Oh, a bit of sass. Who here has ever sassed someone on the internet? Hands up. Yeah, everyone's like, yes, I have. So, Tom, because you put your hand up, I'm just going to jump in here. What's your opinion on sassy replies? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing?
Oof, I mean, you got to be really careful when you do a sassy reply, not to make a typo, especially if your reply is about their grammar.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Is when they've misspelled something.
Oh, I put the wrong yaw.
and then get it wrong. Like, oh, your spelling is terrible. Oh no, wait, no, wrong yaw, no. So that has happened. It's not good. And then when you delete it, it's even worse.
You just drawn attention to something, then you delete it. Okay.
Because then other people join in. They're like, we all saw that.
Yeah. That's one danger. Are you also a sassy response? A sassy reply?
Kind of yeah. At times I enjoy doing that and sometimes what I'll do as well, because I never do it in a sort of like mean way. I never try and be malicious or anything like that. So a lot of the times I'll like publicly reply to somebody who said something I think a bit silly, but then I'll reply to them privately, being like, I haven't offended you. I did it for the joke.
That is a really great thing to do.
And I've done that a lot of times, but sometimes I will just sassy reply if someone's being awful.
Because that's the thing with sassy replies, is it can all be fun and games, but then you don't want to cross the line into just being rude back for no reason. So I think you saying this was just a joke, I hope you didn't take it seriously, but then some people that said something really bad, it's like, I don't really want to apologise. But I think that's definitely something to be aware of. We've talked about all the ways that you can reply to people. We've talked about understanding why people that bully express this negativity and the ways that you can reply, but what about how to cope with your own personal reaction to it? And I think we have Alid in the front row here in our audience. Hello, Alid from the surgery. How are you?
Hello, I'm very good.
Can you talk to us a bit about resilience in that, you can say, I will try to ignore, I can block, I can report, but what can you do about your own feelings?
Well, I feel it's important that I say I'm not an expert on this. It's only because I host a surgery and the audience get involved with the surgery and we kind of talk these things through. And it doesn't quite apply to you guys because you're celebrities and, you've got lots of followers. We're talking the average person. You are, honest. And also, it's important to say that with cyberbullying, just like it is with normal bullying, there is a range of bullying, isn't there, that goes underneath that. The extreme stuff, all this is important. You've got to tell someone, you've got to do something about. But then there's this like grey area in the middle, which is actually that kind of, when is it banter? When is it someone having a laugh? When is it someone just saying something kind of nasty towards you? And actually, if you look at bullying, we've discovered on the show that you'll get bullied several times in a day, in a week, in a month, school, college, uni, work. You'll constantly get bullied. So if you can start to deal with that from quite an early age, you'll start to notice that it's not affecting you. So, for example, with me, I've got someone said to me, oh, I don't like your trousers or the colour you're wearing. Because I'm not fussed by that, I'd be like, what a bizarre comment to make. That's whatever. But then if they say something to me that I'm sensitive about, then I'll feel hurt and say, oh, that quite upset me actually. And then I'll feel like a victim, I'll feel bullied. So it actually does determine on how you look at things as to whether you're being bullied or not. So if you can start building resilience to it, people can start saying stuff to you all the time, and you can start saying, you're quite sad, that's your problem really, and then that'll kind of see you through life much better.
Yep, that's a good point to make. And then what do you do though if you ignore someone or you block them? Like you said, someone keeps coming back, Tom's got 2, Tom's got 3. What do you do if you not only see someone saying mean things to you, but maybe to other people and you want to stop it? You report people, don't you? Phil, do you have a fact for this?
Can I put my ball away
You
now?
can put the ball down.
Right.
It's been a while.
I know.
Was it a comfortable ball to hold?
Yes.
Yep, okay. That was a really weird thing of me to say. I don't know why I said that. So, Phil, hit us with a fact, and you guys can do a general yeah or no, depending on how you agree.
Fact. Among those who experience mean behaviours online, 75% have blocked someone who's being unkind. However, only 27% have reported cyberbullying.
Okay. Who here has ever reported someone? Not just blocked them, but actually actively reported someone. Okay, that's good, because that 20% figure is actually quite alarmingly low, I think. I mean,
that's really low.
A quarter of people is saying that they haven't reported it, because when you report someone, it can lead to their account getting deleted. In that way, they can't hurt anyone else, so that's quite good. But what we need to know is that all websites have reporting features. So just a hands up in the audience, or like a cheer, I should say. Who here knows how to use the report feature on every app or social media that they use?
Quite a few.
Try harder.
Quite a few.
I think that was like
That was awful.
20%.
I think that was a strong 27%.
Yeah. It reflects my fact.
It reflects your fact, Phil.
It's really easy to report someone.
It is really easy to report someone.
Just look for the button that says report, and it'll say, what have they said to you? So if you've got some evidence of what they've said to you, you can put it in the box, click report, and then if they see they're being mean to other people or they give them a warning, then their account will get deleted.
Yep, so definitely an important piece of homework for everybody, including us vloggers on the bench apparently, is any app or website that you're using, look for the report feature, because if someone is repeatedly harassing you, or you see someone else that is being horrible to other people and you don't think it's right for the community on that app or whatever, then learn how to report them, because it is up to us to use all the tools that these things have given us to control how people interact with us.
Yeah, now, one of the best things about getting cyberbullied, and there are good things, is that they're literally giving you the evidence. They are, they're typing it. Typically, it's coming up on a screen. Like, they've written the hard evidence for you, so you can screenshot anything they're doing.
Yep.
And like any phone, any computer can take a screenshot, and that's great. Like, just let them go. Just let them keep at it. They'll just keep sending you stuff, and then you've got more evidence, and then you can just report that to anyone, be it, the people at your mutual place of work, or school, or the website you're on, or the app you're on. It's brilliant. Just dig your own hole. Yeah, keep going. Say
really
more.
important point, though. No matter how you're being bullied or even negatively interacted with on any website, an app, you can take screenshots. On Facebook, if it's someone you know at school that's bullying another person, especially if you want to report someone on a website like Tumblr, you need to take screenshots for evidence, because on a lot of websites, the people will want to see why you've reported someone. So always, golden rule, take screenshots of everything.
Make
just
a
like
scrapbook, make a little PowerPoint presentation.
Make a scrapbook and then gleefully go to the person you're reporting them to and then go, evidence. Yep, it's completely in your power.
I've never actually reported anyone before.
Oh, really?
But now we're talking about it, I kind of think I will. I've always thought that the person who...
Sounds fun.
The person who... is, writing comments. I've always thought they just hated me, but it's never occurred to me that they'll be writing negative comments to other people. So I've always just blocked them. Thought, oh, that's kind of, my problem done. But actually, thinking about it, it's kind of worth reporting.
Could be killing a bigger sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
For the greater good.
The greater good.
So I've got quite a fun example of reporting here that I thought that everyone on this little sofa zone might be able to relate to, which is all of us YouTubers. There's a lot of people that kind of pretend to be us on Facebook. Have you guys seen fakes of yourself on Facebook? Yeah. I think not all of them are like mean trolls. Some of them are just kind of like role playing as Louise and Tom having a erotic soiree in a hotel after a convention. It's out there.
No, that actually is me.
Yeah. Okay. That's actually Tom. So should we have a look at a quick video I made where I searched for Dan Howell on Facebook to see how many fake me's there are? So obviously I am the real Dan Howell, but let's go on Facebook and see how many fake me's there are out there. Search for my name, go to people, and wow, okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, wow, it's refreshing the page, and again, and again, and again. And I feel like this could go on for a while, so I'm just going to pick one and show you how to report it for impersonating you. So let's see. That is a particularly embarrassing photo of me, so this one needs to go right now. I am going to click on these 3 dots on the right-hand side of the page, go to report. I'm going to report this account, and then I'm going to say this timeline is pretending to be me. Continue. You can say that they're pretending to be me, someone I know, or a celebrity. So if you want to, just delete some fake Lady Gagas out there, you can do that. I'm going to click me, continue, submit to Facebook for a review, and done. And then if you see here, if we go here, it says, we will review the profile you reported for pretending to be you. If it violates our community standards on identity and privacy, because Facebook cares, they will ask you to prove your account and then they will remove it. Thanks. So now I just need to do this another 800 times. I can't do that. I'll just leave some of them there.
BBC R1. Check out our new BBC advice site. Random Girl 96. Sounds good, R1. Tell me more.
Dirty Troll 100.
Good is spelled G-O-O-D, not G-U-D. Idiot. Random Girl 96. Oh, I'm sorry. Captain Dictionary.
Oh, mean people on the internet are the worst.
Yeah, man, they suck.
Let's go.
Get your comment heard, go to the Radio 1 website and click on BBC Advice.
1.
You are listening to the Radio 1 Internet Takeover Special with me, Dan Howell. All of these vloggers with me. Say hi, vloggers.
Hi, vloggers.
Yeah, okay. I didn't even think of that. Wow, I'm so slow. And say hi, audience. Hi. We've got an audience.
They weren't as sharp as us. They didn't say hi, audience.
I was really hoping you'd go hi. Hi, audience.
So, who's ready for a
Great.
deep, opinionated discussion on something? Tom is. Has any of you got?
I'm a bit nervous.
Phil, Patricia, and Jim. Yeah, Charlie, you ready to get deep? Okay. So we've talked about negativity, talked about blocking people, but free speech. This is the thing that we should consider. We're talking about online negativity. People are allowed to express opinions. Surely people should be allowed to express negative opinions. So what is the line between people's right to express negative opinions and the kind of stuff that isn't okay? Does anyone here have a thing to summarize that? Phil?
I think just don't be mean to someone. I mean, you can say, hey, I didn't really enjoy this video without being horrible about the person. I think maybe just imagine if someone said it to your mum. How would you feel?
My general approach to life is that I am tolerant, happy, in fact, for people to do whatever they want to do as long as it doesn't negatively impact on anyone else. I think the minute you kind of infringe on that is when you go too far and when kind of lines are crossed and things have to change.
I think it's about just being a good person, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just a bit
Be
weird.
nice.
Like that we,
Yeah.
like, it feels like so strange that we have to talk about that. It's like, yes, free speech exists, but don't be awful. Like just because you can take advantage of something doesn't mean you should take advantage of it.
I mean, that's the quote, isn't it? It's like, it's okay to have an opinion, just don't be a jerk about it. Because at the end of the day, if you really care about getting an opinion across, people are much more likely to listen to you if you're respectful when you say it. I mean, Charlie, you've been on the internet, I think, longer than most people. When you look at comments, you saw people just kind of giving criticisms of your content and then maybe just being rude. Where did you draw the line between what's free speech and unacceptable?
I think I always kind of wish that people would just remember that their opinions are just opinions.
Yeah.
Like if they say something that's negative, just like, oh, you should have done the video like this and like this, just remember that those opinions are just your taste as well. Like the things that you're saying aren't necessarily going to be like you deciding that a video is bad doesn't actually make that video bad. So saying, hey, this wasn't really for me as well, I think that's an important thing to include.
Okay. And what about when it gets even worse? Because we're talking about like hateful comments people can get, and you can ignore people, you can block them, you can report someone, but when people usually talk about trolls, the image is usually like the most extreme side of the spectrum, which is like verging on harassment. So we're talking about the right to free speech. At what point should it maybe really not be okay to the point that it's a crime? Because some people say on the internet, you should be able to say literally whatever you want to anyone, and the other person can just leave the internet or block me if it's their problem. What about, at what point does it cross the line into being maybe a crime?
I think for people nowadays, particularly for younger people, you know, your social accounts are your life. You know, followers are kind of like the commodity, and that's how people talk nowadays. So there's no way you should have to delete your account because someone is upsetting you, because, you know, you shouldn't have to suffer because someone is kind of infringing on your rights. I think there's a definite case that you know, there is harassment. People, there's a lot of things out there that are illegal, you know, stalking and physical bullying, but online bullying is equally as damaging, you know, and I think there needs to be some sort of actual guidelines as to when it goes too far, you know.
Okay, so let's ask the audience. Does anyone in the audience want to say where is the line crossed? At what point should it be illegal? At what point do any of you guys think that when someone does something, it should be a crime?
Am I going into the audience
venture
again?
into the audience.
Hello, what's your name?
My name's Alex.
Hello, Alex. And do you have an opinion on this?
When somebody tells you to take your life or die, that should be legal, because some people might listen to that and they might harm themselves.
I think I don't think anyone in this room would disagree with that.
What would you say, just being the devil's advocate, it's not what I think, if you had some guy on the internet that's like, well, yeah, but like I just typed something on the internet, it's free speech, should I go to prison just for typing something? I mean, Jack or Alex, do you have an idea on that?
I think that harassment is harassment, no matter where it is. How about you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty clear, if you're looking at the spectrum, that's pretty much the worst thing you can do, isn't it? I mean, like, is there like a grey area? At what point could you say to someone, this person's just being a bit of a rude person that I don't like, and it's harassment? What other kinds of behaviour are there? Does anyone have any opinions?
Yep, okay, I'm going to have to climb. I'm going to come down this gully, I hope you don't mind. Hello, what's your name?
My name's Emma.
Hi, Emma, and what do you have to say about this topic?
Well, I think that the line's kind of drawn when it could trigger someone. I mean, if someone's gonna, harm themselves or harm others or just kind of, have a panic attack or whatever, then definitely something should be done.
Okay, so say you feel like it's time for something to be done. You've decided that this isn't okay. how do you do it? Because, like, how many people here really know how to take something to the police? Because the internet just seems like this wild land where you can block people, you can report people, but nothing can be done about it. I'm telling you now, it turns out there is stuff you can do about it. Patricia, would you like to tell us some more about this?
So I think like the legal term is malicious communications.
Okay.
So based on that, you are able to report someone, especially if you fear for your life or your safety or the safety of others around you. And in my circumstance, I basically had to delete and block wasn't anything. People would create, or the particular person would create new profiles, new accounts, every social media, emails, any way possible to contact me, even being, you know, family members, they would do that. So for me, what I had to do was to gather all the evidence, all the print screens that I could possibly get, search and find that IP address myself, call their provider to try and get some more details, but I couldn't get their home address details, obviously. But with that evidence, you're able to go to the police, and then the police will have to open up an official case for you, and then if you go to court and whatever, they can then get their information and prosecute them if you're willing to go through the prosecution process, which is kind of stressful.
So if someone is affecting your life, if someone is threatening your life or a friend's life, or you think that someone really needs to stop doing what they're doing, as Tom and Patricia said, gather as much evidence as possible, and you can take it to the police, because harassment is literally a criminal offence. It is anything that causes you distress or alarm. There is no strict legal definition of stalking, but that is also a crime that includes following a person, watching them or spying on them without consent, or forcing contact with them in any way. So even if it's through the internet, that is also not allowed. And also today, so this is breaking news, which is actually a really good thing, there is finally a law on revenge porn in the UK, which means that if you share naked pictures with someone and they spread it on the internet without your consent, that is now literally a crime. So if you wanted to do it before and you were just a horrible person, it's now also illegal. So
that's something I wanted to talk about, because like things like revenge porn are a very, very, very common like kind of bullying tactic.
Totally.
And it's now, and it is. It is sexual assault. It's a breach of sort of consent. Like, and it goes for a lot of things. Like if someone doesn't have your consent to share private images online, but there's also things like they don't have your consent to share your address. This is like information you have not made public, and therefore they do not have the right to make it public. They are now breaking the law, and you have a solid kind of case against them for that.
So it is a crime. So make sure that you know how to do that, get the evidence, and talk to the police. One thing that makes this all very hard, which a couple of people in the audience touched upon earlier, though, is the idea of anonymity, and specifically not just hiding behind a screen name, but there are various websites that provide actual, true, almost untraceable anonymity, in which case you can't really block a specific person, there is no identity to report, and it's very, very hard to follow up on things. So I just want to do a quick show of hands in the audience and hear how many people have anonymous questions enabled on a website like Tumblr or Ask.fm. So Jack Howard and Jim does here. So does Tom, and a few people in the audience. Okay, so Jack, you have anonymous questions enabled. How do you feel about anonymous questions?
I don't particularly mind, because I like Jim said earlier, I'm quite lucky in the fact that I don't get a lot of hate sent my way, and I kind of feel like if anyone wants to ask me a question, they should be allowed to, whether or not they have an account on that particular website or not. And I don't answer a lot of stuff, whether or not it be like positive or negative, so I kind of just leave it open, and I'm also kind of in a position where I can tell myself not to kind of take anything to heart, whether it be positive or negative, because I think I was saying it a little bit earlier, but like both ends of the spectrum can be dangerous, maybe arrogant or incredibly upset by what people are saying. So for me, having anonymous questions hasn't really been a problem, but I know it has been for friends of mine and other stuff like that.
It's a good point, because there is no right or wrong thing to do. These websites exist. You can use them. If you're like Jack and it doesn't affect you, then you can use anonymous questions. Obviously, it comes with a big warning, but the fact is we all need to know that we have a choice and how to take ourselves out of that situation. Phil, you don't have anonymous questions on.
I don't really agree with the anonymous features that websites have. I think it's only going to lead to some kind of negativity towards you. And in real life, if someone was disguising their voice and giving me a phone call going, I like you.
That was really creepy.
Well, no, that'd be an anonymous thing. That'd be really creepy. So I don't see why online you can just have these messages coming in that you've got no idea who sent them.
So it is a service provided on the internet. In your personal opinion, when websites are so popular like Tumblr, I think it's how many users do they have? Like 700 million or something. Who here uses Tumblr? Yeah? Yeah, most people. Do you think that they maybe shouldn't have something enabled that is so dangerous to so many people?
I think it causes so much hurt across the board that I don't think it should be a thing, really. I don't.
You were saying as well, Dan, that there's a certain level like of people just want attention.
Totally.
And that's what you were saying. We were talking about this just earlier, just as a conversation. There's like that people, they kind of want some form of attention, and they think that if they turn off the anonymous, the nice anonymous ones will go away, and they think that that's enough to kind of combat the negative ones they get as well. So I think that there's a sort of a need for a crave for some sort of...
That's what makes it so hard, because a lot of the reason why some people don't turn off anonymous questions or asking is that attention is kind of addictive, because when you are getting like constant attention, people are asking questions about you, it's quite exciting. And I think that not enough people draw the line and say this is more bad than it is good. So if you are really being hurt by anonymous questions, you don't need it. Just turn it off.
That's what I did.
Just turn them off.
Anon on. For until just a few weeks ago, actually, and then I just thought no, because I was getting just a few hurtful comments, and they often weren't about me; they were about friends of mine, and that just really got to me. So I just thought, rather than like trying to, at first I was like, I will just explain a situation, and then it just snowballed. I just thought, do you know what? No. I'll just turn it off, and
the thing as well,
it's not an
like,
issue.
Anonymous, like especially in your case, I remember you talking to me about this. It gives the impression that it's a widespread amount of people.
Yeah, I remember talking about this with you.
You were saying that you don't think it is.
Yeah, so I think it was actually just a small group of people, or even one person, sending messages about the same topic, but just wording it differently. So I was on the phone to Jack, like, very upset, like, why are they saying this? And then I was like, wait, this is odd. Like, it's all like 10 messages in a row. I was like, this is all one person or a selection. So I just thought, nah.
Yeah, when they have their identity attached to it, it's like, okay, this is one person sent this hateful message, but if they're anonymous, then it's actually it's now those 7 billion people you don't know. So suddenly it seems like a lot more, but it's typically one person. My opinion though with anonymous hatred is that anonymity cures cowardice. Like people, when they're anonymous, they'll say like the meanest things they wouldn't dare say. So I just don't really care when someone sends anonymous hate, because it's like. You would never say this if you actually had to face any repercussions. So it just doesn't really matter. What upsets me more is that when you can find out who the person is, like when it's a person who so unashamedly, this real human being has taken this time to say something horrible. That's what blows my mind. I'm like, whoa.
So like
who hurt you?
Are worthless when they say horrible things.
Absolutely worthless. It doesn't. It still gets to me, but it's so worthless.
It's a good point to make. I think that you made a really good point to make about identity, and that it might all be one person. In that, especially to a lot of people out there, because I mean, we're putting ourselves out there on the internet. We're kind of public figures on the internet, so random people we don't know would contact us. But especially when it comes to people that maybe don't have many followers, and you think about who is this hate coming from, it's usually people you know, which is like a terrifying fact. So if you're getting lots of anonymous hate, it might actually be one of your friends or someone from school or someone that you know in real life that's contacting you. So cut it out if you don't need it.
I had about, I'd say maybe like 5 to 10 people in my life that really didn't like me, and I spent a period like going through trying to redeem myself, like apologize to those people. And once I was done with that, I get like one negative anonymous message a week, maybe. But when I still had like, maybe there's like 10 people who really hated me, I got a lot more anonymous hate messages. So yeah, I think there's a correlation there, maybe.
Okay, so I think the main point that we're concluding from all of this information is that you do have control of how people interact with you on the internet. So we all need to know that. We need to know how to use all of these websites, how to block people, how to report people, how to contact the police, not to have anonymous messages, even if it is a feature on the website, because it is up to us. We can be in control of how people interact with us. So we've talked quite extensively about what to do when you get kind of like random hate on the internet, or like on websites where it's people you don't know that are quite easy to cut out of your life. But the other reality in 2015 is that the same bullying that people go through in real life from people they actually know in their families, at school, at work, can now just carry around the bullying into the pockets. And this is a lot harder. It's a completely different situation, because what do you do when you're being bullied by someone online and then not somebody that you can cut out of your life by blocking them or reporting them? Alex, when someone is getting bullied on the internet from someone that they know, or especially on websites like Facebook that are social, it doesn't seem right that someone should have to kind of cut themselves out of the picture just because other people are being mean. So what do you do in this situation?
Yeah, I think you're right. Part of me thinks that actually you're not doing anything wrong. You don't need to change your behaviour. They need to change their behaviour. But then I suppose there's nothing wrong with taking a break and being able to review the situation. Take the problem that is currently online, take it offline, back into the real world, speak to people about it. And that might well help, I think, because sometimes we can get very preoccupied with it online, but if we talk to someone about it, unpick it, maybe face-to-face to those people, it might be a little bit easier to deal with.
So we have an example here, and this would be really good to see if we can apply that to it. We have a video from Helen from thesite.org, which has a good example about something that happened on WhatsApp. So let's have a look at that.
Hi there, I'm Helen from thesite.org. We're a website aimed at 16 to 25-year-olds. You can come and get information from us on a range of different issues. You can chat to us, you can watch our videos, you can contact us through our question service. An example of the kind of issue young people talk about on the site relates to mobile phones. We all love our phones, but they can cause issues. Imagine a group of friends, one of them started dating, everyone's really excited, and someone in that group decides it would be fun to use WhatsApp to follow the relationship. So maybe overhearing conversations and sharing them in the group, maybe even taking a few photos. Could be fun, could all end in tears.
So that is a situation where someone is being gossiped about behind their backs by their friends, and it's not a situation where you can really block your housemates or block your friends or report your friends. So Alex, what would you do in this situation if people you know are gossiping about you and you want them to stop?
Yeah, so I think that's quite a tough one, and especially when it's happening online, it's so instant, so quick, that can make it seem 10 times worse. And I think the advice maybe is about putting your phone down for a minute, really thinking about it, and perhaps going face to face and speaking to someone about it. Because if it's bothering you, then there might actually be a much better solution face to face talking to someone. Whereas things online very quickly can get out of hand, as it was said there. So I think that conversation with someone face to face would be really important with dealing with the problem.
I think that it's exactly the situation where you need to speak to someone just to get the kind of reassurance from people. This is when you'd need to speak to a friend or a family member, someone in real life that kind of is part of this real life that you're now getting the negativity from, and explain the situation. You know, if you're getting bullied by someone at school and it's online, then as we talked about with the other stuff, you can screenshot the evidence and then maybe go to an authority figure. But I think that the number one thing here is that it's another thing that you absolutely shouldn't tolerate at all. It's not your fault that this is happening, it's their problem. So you need to go to an authority figure, you need to try to reason with them, and if they don't, then hey, bring down the force of justice upon them for being mean. Yep.
I think if this group was a group of friends as well, there will be one of those that you feel slightly closer to, or you like them a bit more. So if you just confide in them saying, look, this is really upsetting me, then if they are a true friend, then they'll tell the rest to stop. Otherwise, maybe they're not having in your life.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be sort of ignorance. You know, they might not realise what they're doing affects you. They may just think it's kind of cute that you're in a relationship or funny or something, but not actually think about the invasion of privacy. So it's maybe not until you bring it to their attention that they go, oh, okay, yeah, kind of take your point and realise, you know.
Let's talk about what we can actually do to make the internet a better place ourselves. So not just about what can we do to stop people from interacting with us negatively, but in the same way that you'd support a friend in one of these situations, what are things that we can do to actively help ourselves and help other people? Charlie, you've got a fact here about people talking about how often they're positive on the internet.
I've been hanging on to this fact for a while.
The facts time has come.
I wasn't sure if you were going to let me read it.
Hit us with the facts, Charlie.
Fact. 88% of young teens say they always try to be nice online.
Always try to be nice online, 88%. Can we get a yes or no from the audience here? No. 88% of young people say they
try to.
Yeah, they always try to be nice online. I mean, we'd say that, wouldn't we? But it's not always easy to do. Can we try a bit harder, do you reckon, to be a bit positive in the way that we go about things? Because it's not always mega bullying or trolling or gossiping about people, but the way that this internet takes away the face-to-face reactions from people and the kind of people judging you for what you say, it lets us all be quite rude and negative with how we express opinions. I mean, think about comments on music videos or anything. See a Miley Cyrus music video. Are the people in the comments under a Miley Cyrus music video likely to give constructive feedback or express in a polite way why they don't like Miley Cyrus? No, they're going to be quite horrible. But this isn't just like the YouTube trolls. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen on any like Facebook news story, all the comments are really kind of rudely worded, and it's like, my God.
Murderous, even.
Yeah, and it's like, is the whole world this angry? And I think it's the same thing as the bullying without realizing it, in that it's the same kind of feelings of anger and insecurity that people are then just taking out in the way that they express their opinions. So I thought that we could play a little game here to talk about how you can express an opinion in different ways. We've got 2 little emojis printed off. So Charlie and Tom, can you hold these up? Again, we're not saying that there's a right way or a wrong way to do it, but for the purposes of this game, we have an angel and a devil face emoji for the people on the internet. So I'm going to hit you with some topics here. Say there is a YouTube video, one of us has uploaded, or maybe one of you guys has uploaded a vlog, and there is a comment under it. You maybe don't like the video for a reason. Tom, what is a way that you could express your feelings?
This is the worst video I've ever seen, and I hate you. You should delete this video and your account and just everything to do with you forever.
Okay, would you think that represents like most negative feedback on you? Yeah, I think that's the tone most people have. Charlie, what is
swear words in your one though?
What is another way you could say the same thing?
This video wasn't quite to my tastes, and I don't think I'll probably watch you anymore, but I hope your channel does well. Thank you.
There we go. Round of applause for the nice way of handling that. Yeah. So you see, Charlie there rose above the need to be. You know, he wasn't taking out any of his own negative emotions on the other person, because another person will read that and they get sad. We all get sad because of them. Imagine if every comment we ever got was like that, just like, I think the editing could have been a bit more careful on this video, but no, that's not really it. It's more like Tom's comment, isn't it? Okay, so what about if someone uploads an unflattering display picture on Facebook? Say a friend posts a picture and you're a bit like, not keen on that. What's a way that you could react to it, Tom?
You are well ugly. And I hate everything about looking at you. I threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Sounds like Instagram, right? So Charlie, what could you say if you actually maybe want to say that this isn't someone's best photo, but you don't want to be a jerk about it?
What would I say? Good try. Have you considered maybe taking the picture from a wider angle next time?
Yes.
This is still quite mean, isn't it?
No, I think that's
You could message them privately and say...
I would say a higher angle.
Oh.
Yeah, so, okay.
You could message, steady. You could message them privately and be like, hey, I'm saying this because I love you, but maybe I saw a picture last week which was loads nicer.
That is a great way to do it. Well done, Louise. So I think what this is all touching on is that we're all going to have opinions. We're going to disagree with people. People like different things, but how do we express an opinion without starting a giant internet poo storm, as we see all the time? Who here has ever contributed to a pointless internet argument? Say yes.
Me.
Yeah. I think we all have.
I've started a few.
We've started a few. I think we all have.
I'm doing it now.
I think kind of my opinion on opinions is that if you're hating on something or someone for any reason other than that person or that thing being objectively negative towards humanity, you're kind of just being unnecessary and you should stop. This is a rule that I would like to live by, but don't.
Totally. I mean, there's a quote that says, 10% of conflicts happen due to a difference of opinion, 90% are the wrong tone of voice. If you genuinely want to have a conversation with someone, if you're respectful, they're much more likely to listen to you. I think that... Do you agree with that, Louise?
I very much agree. It's very hard to read the tone in a lot of things, I think.
Louise is nodding and smiling to anybody listening to the radio.
Yeah.
So, say, though, whether you're having banter with a friend, you know, because some people are joking. Some having some bants.
Banter clause.
Banter clause.
Okay, let's
Bantosaurus Rex.
tone down the bants right here a bit. Or you're expressing an opinion. What do you do if you think you've crossed the line, maybe made a joke and a friend is a bit sad, or you've expressed an opinion and you think it's rude? Has anyone in the audience got any kind of like wild ideas of what you can do if you've crossed a line? Just shout it out.
Apologise.
Apologise. It's a very hard thing to do, isn't it? Because no one in the entire world ever wants to kind of admit something that they've done is wrong. It's so the hardest thing in the world is to overcome your pride. But if you apologise, you'll feel better and you'll resolve the situation. So what about like positive intervention that you can do for others? If you see a friend being cyberbullied, how can you join in without it maybe going horribly wrong? Because I mean, there's risks, aren't there? You don't want to just like argue back to the troll with a friend and make yourself a target. Louise, how can you support a friend without maybe creating more negativity?
I've been in this situation with friends who have been having a difficult time online, and I find that the best thing to do is not to reply to the troll or the hater, because then you're just making more of a, as you said, a poo storm. I just ring them and be like, hi, you're having a horrible time and I love you, because you have to think, if you were bullied in real life, you would want some, like, not online in like real 3D world, you would want someone to be there to give you a hug and tell you, you know, that they're loved. Yeah, mollycoddle, that's what I do well at. I do well at just, you know, giving a bit of love.
What's your technique for mummy hugging? I just want to know what that technique is.
Just like a big, warm cuddle.
I had a mummy hug earlier, and it was certainly warm.
And how did it make you feel inside, Jim?
Toasty.
Toasty. Patricia, how do you feel positivity or negatively makes you feel inside? So like all the people that are kind of reacting quite negatively to the way they express opinions. What about when you support friends, or maybe if you try to express opinions in a more positive way? How do you reckon that would affect you yourself if you try to do it? Do you think that saying positive things on the outside makes you feel more positive inside?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely. If you are nice to people, they'll be nicer to you, and overall that just makes everything seem a lot nicer. And I think if you keep breeding more and more negativity and keep saying negative stuff and responding to negative stuff, it just gets worse. It's fueling a fire.
So you should breed positivity instead?
Yes.
Do you have anything to say on being positive, Phil?
Well, I listen to Louise's lush hauls as I fall asleep just because I like her voice. So I was like, it's not the kind of thing I usually watch on YouTube, but I'm going to give it a like anyway. And I got a lovely text back from Louise like, thanks so much for liking my video. And I was like, oh, that's my day a little bit better.
So Phil, that was an example of you making an effort to be more positive. How did that make you feel inside when you did something positive that you wouldn't usually do and got a happy reply from Louise?
My spiky stomach turned into a warm, cuddly hamster.
Oh.
The one from the bowl?
The one from the bowl.
The flat one from the bowl. So is a general conclusion we're seeing here, the more positive you are to people, the happier you feel on the inside? Do you think that's a safe one to assume?
Yes.
It's a tough one, isn't it? And I think what we need to get from this show is that we're all going to make mistakes and everything is so hard. You know, it's hard to not reply to people. It's hard to not feel bad when even though you know it's just a bully saying something mean, that they're not attacking an insecurity. But if you try, as hard as it can be, to be positive, you'll feel better on the inside, I think. So, it seems like that's the conclusion of the show, pretty much.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh,
it's a nice note. So what have we learned here? We've learned that when you know that it's not you, it's them when it comes to bullies, it can make you feel a bit less affected by it. We now know that it's important to understand how to use the websites because you are in control of how people interact with you on the internet, and it is up to you to not tolerate it. And that we should all be aware because, I mean, we all start arguments with people. We all say mean things about Miley Cyrus, but maybe if we think, why am I saying something mean about Miley Cyrus? Even though I don't know her, I'll be nice. We'll feel happier on the inside. So should we make this a thing? Do you like things, guys in the audience?
I like things.
We're going to make this a thing. Let's all do a pledge to take something from what we've learned here today and commit to it with a tweet.
Can we do a hashtag?
We can do a hashtag. We have a hashtag.
What's
Louise,
the hashtag?
What? You tell us.
Oh, it's because I did it earlier by mistake, a bit too soon. It's hashtag nicer internet.
Yes, okay, so everyone get out your phones. I told everyone
Phone
to turn them off because
time.
we're on the radio. I'm actually asking you to turn them back on.
If anyone wants to know how to spell it, Dean's written it for you on the little...
I've done mine. It's Miley Cyrus is all right. Hashtag nicer canvas.
Yes, thank you, Dean.
I'm happy to help.
That is a great summary of all of the profound things that we've said so far on the show.
Thank you.
Can we, before we go, another round of applause for Dean? Yes. I mean, kind of symbolising really complicated things in drawings is hard. What a guy.
Thanks. I could do birthday cards, wedding invites. I'll do anything.
Okay, let's shoot. So everyone's got out their phone. Okay. So,
I'm going to take a picture of all of you and do nicer internet. So.
Oh, everybody do that.
Be
okay.
nice.
Pose
Ready?
nice for a selfie.
Steady.
You look beautiful. Okay, Jack just jumped across the room. Don't injure yourself doing selfies.
Thank you.
I am going to say that I am going to try as hard as I can to not let negativity affect me and to understand it, and to try to be as positive as I can for other people and for myself. Hashtag nicer internet? Okay.
That's too long for a tweet.
I'm going to fit that in character limit, okay? Everyone write this, and you guys in the audience too, write something that you feel like you've learned from this today. Tweet it with hashtag nicer internet. Cool. So, I feel like we've spoken about a lot of really good things here today. I feel like we've all discussed things quite deeply. So, thank you, guys, for all coming. Can us guys just give a round of applause to the audience? Yeah, well done, audience. You've been super helpful. Can I get a cheer for our vloggers that have come here and talked about stuff? Thank you very much for everyone listening.
For Dan as well, don't we?
Don't cheer for me. I hope that none of my waffling was too off topic. Okay, awesome. Thank you. I hope you guys all had a great time, and hopefully, just by talking about all of this stuff, we've learned some things, and for ourselves and for the people we can talk to, we can make the internet a bit of a nicer place. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Goodbye.